Get in here. That's fun. Man, if they eat a bladed jig like this today, we're gonna have a really good time. We got high water, that's a good start. We've got high water, this is early spring. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm glad you're here and I'm glad we're going fishing. Welcome to the show. Oh yeah, that's a good one there, buddy. Come here. Oh, come here. Whoa. Yeah. Get in here. Man, look at that one. Oh, definitely some post-spawn fish. Holy cow. Just absolute, look how skinny that is. Big head. When he hit it, it had like a 5-pound head, but like a 2.5-pound body. But still fun. Anytime they load up on that bladed jig like that, it's just awesome. This is getting fun. It's getting fun. Come here. Oh, now we're talking. A little better. Man, when they're eating it like that, come here. That's what I like to see. You know, that the thing about a bladed jig is a lot of times you don't have a really hard strike. What you have is your rod loading, and I'm throwing a composite. Having that rod with more of a parabolic action, the fish will just come up, and what you feel in a bladed jig most of the time is when that rod loads, that's actually the bass coming behind it, sucking in the bait and turning. Proof of that is if you look back at this fish I just caught, it was caught in the corner. He came up, turned, and when he turned, that's when the hook goes in. That's where a softer tip rod really comes into play. And these being post-spawn fish, sometimes they're not real aggressive. So when they come up and grab that bait, it's nice to have that parabolic action so you get a better hook set. You felt bigger, I can tell you that. You felt bigger than you were. I like how you're eating it. There is the lake that we're fishing today just has a very strong bluegill population. So one of the baits that I tied on is, you'll see this Lure Parts Online bladed jig right here, but I call that a really good bluegill colored skirt. It's actually called roadkill. But yeah, it's been a great, whenever I'm fishing lakes that have a lot of bluegills, Wisconsin, Minnesota, even northern Illinois like this is on a sunny day with clear water, this is always a good choice because it perfectly mimics the bluegills that these fish are feeding on. Keep at it for a bigger one. Come here. Come here. Oh, that one ate it a little better. You know, sometimes, like right now, we're just noticing that a lot of these fish, or several of them anyway, are starting to come up short on the bladed jig. And when that happens, you're feeling them tagging it, you feel the blade just get interrupted and nothing's there. That one ate it pretty good, but we've had a couple other pretty decent fish that have came up behind and just tagged it. So I think we're gonna have to change something up. That sometimes happens, go out throughout the day. Sometimes you just have to make adjustments. We're probably gonna have to make one as well. Nice fish. Nice fish, yeah. Come here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Man, did he eat that thing. We said I could, you know what, and these are the things you need to pay attention to. Beautiful fish right there. That when we started, that bladed jig was definitely what we were starting to catch fish on. And then they started missing the bait. When they start doing that, things are changing. So dropped down to a wacky worm, caught a couple fish on that. This water's really clear. It's right after a front and it's post-spawn. So we got some things working against us, but it never hurts to drop down, especially in clear water, to a bait like a Ned rig, because sometimes it's going to save the day. It's saving today. Another bass on there. Yeah. Fun, fun, fun. And yeah. Cool. Fun, fun, fun. Oh, what a nice fish. I saw this fish cruising and threw the little Ned rig at him and he ate it. Come back here. Come here. He comes. Whoa. Awesome. This is so cool. That is so cool. Oh, man. Come here. Oh, man, you ate this thing. I'm going to show you a little bit about this plastic here. Come here. There you go. That's a nice fish right there. There we go. Oh, beautiful fish. See, these are post-spawn fish. We knew that coming in. This water's warm enough now. I got to show you a cool little plastic. Here they are right here. This is a new Bass Academy line from Lure Parts Online, and this is a new little color we have in the Big D. and this is called Green Pumpkin Magic. This has been an awesome little bait for me already this year. We've been faced here in the Midwest. I don't know if you've all went through it, but we went through so many weather changes. Cold, hot, blazing hot. Then you get a cold front. And sometimes, especially in clear water, it will just benefit you to drop down to smaller baits. You're just going to get bit. And today is all about getting bit. We don't care if we catch bluegills, bass, crappies, but that little bait right there, and what I'm throwing it on is a very tiny little head. This is called our warhead, and it is a 1/16 ounce head, and what it allows that bait to do is just glide. It doesn't fall straight, it just glides. So I've got to fish it slower, but they just inhale it. These little baits are loaded with that crunch juice. When they bite it, they won't let go. Just a deadly, deadly little bait when it gets tough. Look at that thing. Threw back to that same spot where I had that bass. Check this out. What a crappie. My goodness. What a crappie. Oh, look at the size of that thing. Oh man, I'll tell you what, that is a cool thing about fishing, is that sometimes you start out the day and you're thinking, all right, hey, we're going to catch some bass on bladed jigs, that's great. Weather changes everything and you adjust. And you start out and you think, it's going to be an okay day. And all of a sudden things happen like this, where you find areas. So this is the side of a weedy point. Back there was the side of a weedy point with a log in the back, so we get the idea. The wind blowing into these areas, and now we set up with spot lock on them, start throwing little tiny baits just to get bit. Big crappies, decent sized bass, just a lot of fun. Sometimes it doesn't take the most expensive rod and reel or the most high priced bait. Sometimes a small jig head and a small piece of plastic, your kids, you're gonna have fun. Same thing, oh my goodness, look at that one. Wind blown pocket, right on the point, on the weed edge. Beautiful. Look at those things. How pretty are those? Cool. So as always, I want to tell you about the tackle that we're using today. And although we did catch some bass on bladed jigs, these are post-spawn fish, and the fish got picky. So we started downsizing because it is clear water, and we ended up catching bass and crappie. So it was just a whole bunch of fun. So I want to show you the setup that I was using for most of those fish. And this is actually a rod that I built from Mudhole. This is an SJ 782. It's a 6.6 action rod. I've got the American Tackle compressed carbon fiber reel seat on here, split grip, as you see, microwave guides, which really help when I'm casting light lures a far distance. I will not build another rod without microwave guides on them. They have just been that effective for me. Now the reel I'm using is a Casking Kestrel, and this is part of their spinning finesse system, or SFS. This reel weighs only 4.6 ounces. It's got a full carbon frame on here. It's 6:2 gear ratio. It's got over 10 pounds of drag pressure and 10+1 ball bearings. This is a perfect little reel, whether you're crappie fishing, whether you're bass fishing, largemouth, smallmouth. It's also a really good walleye reel. The drag on here is phenomenal. The one that was the most successful for us, no question there, and that is a little warhead from Lure Parts Online. It's 1/16 ounce, and that is the Big D in our 3.25 size, and this is a new color. This is called Green Pumpkin Magic. It's got a lot of gold flake in it. It works phenomenal for crappies, largemouth and smallmouth. It's just a great little bait. And the cool thing about this, if you're when you're Ned rigging, you start catching crappies on it, remember this, the crappies are not actually going down on the bait. We were casting into the wind, so the bait was drifting back on a very light head. The key to that is just let it drift a lot of times, and the crappies would come up from underneath it or come right to it and eat it. Remember, crappies always feed up. Now, the other cool thing about that is a lot of the bass we were catching were in the same areas as the crappies were, and those were post-spawn bass. They were sitting on the outside edges of the weed lines, and they were around there because those crappies were. That's a good bass on there. Come on. Yeah, come here. Yeah, come here, come here, come here. Oh, that, I'll tell you what, right there is a great way, to end the day. I am telling you what a fun day today. Dropping down the small baits when times get tough, dropping down to a little Ned rig in clear water is always a good choice. Thanks so much for joining us today. I hope if you had half as much fun as we did today, I think you had a good time. God bless you. Until next time, I'm Jim Crowley. We'll see you soon.